If an airplane passenger hadn't recorded it, no one would have believed it. This bizarre incident is just one of countless strange and mind-boggling airplane occurrences that continue to amaze us around the world. Let's take a closer look at some of the strangest incidents involving airplanes. U.S. Airways Flight 1549 was an extraordinary aviation incident that occurred on January 15, 2009, when an Airbus A320-214 passenger plane, which had taken off from LaGuardia Airport in New York City bound for Charlotte Douglas International Airport, lost its engines due to a collision with a flock of birds shortly after takeoff, resulting in an emergency landing in the Hudson River. The plane took off from LaGuardia Airport at 15:25. Approximately 90 seconds after takeoff, the aircraft collided with a large flock of Canada geese at an altitude of 914 meters. The geese caused both engines to fail, and the aircraft began to lose altitude rapidly. Captain Chesley "Sully" Sullenberger and co-pilot Jeffrey Skiles attempted to restart the engines but were unsuccessful. At the same time, they considered the possibility of diverting the plane to the nearest airport. Air traffic control suggested that the plane either return to LaGuardia Airport or divert to Teterboro Airport in New Jersey, but the plane, which was rapidly losing altitude, was unable to reach either of these options. Captain Sullenberger therefore decided to make a controlled landing in the Hudson River. The cockpit crew prepared the passengers for landing while the cabin crew practiced emergency procedures. At 15:31, just 6 minutes after takeoff, the plane successfully landed in the Hudson River. Upon landing on the water, the plane began to sink slightly from the nose, but the fuselage remained largely intact. Passengers were evacuated through the wings and emergency exit doors. Immediately after the incident, ferries, rescue boats, and emergency services in the area quickly reached the plane. Nearby Circle Line sightseeing cruises and New York waterway ferries arrived on the scene as the first rescue teams and safely removed passengers from the water. The New York Police Department and Coast Guard also arrived on the scene shortly afterward. In about 24 minutes, all 155 people on board were rescued alive. Following the incident, the National Transportation Safety Board launched a detailed investigation. Simulations tested the possibility of the pilots returning to an airport after engine failure. However, the investigations revealed that the pilot's real-time decision-making process had not been taken into account and concluded that Sullenberger's landing in the Hudson River was the safest option. Captain Chesley Sullenberger became an international hero thanks to his composure and skillful landing. The incident came to be known as the Hudson Miracle. Sullenberger and his crew were honored by the U.S. Congress and various organizations. This event is recognized as one of the most successful water landings in aviation history. The plane was later towed out of the river and put on display at the Carolinas Aviation Museum in Charlotte. Let's take a closer look at another plane crash. United Airlines Flight 328 was an incident on February 20, 2021, when a Boeing 777-222 passenger plane was forced to make an emergency landing after its right engine exploded shortly after takeoff. The aircraft took off from Denver International Airport en route to Honolulu, Hawaii. About 4 minutes after takeoff, when the aircraft reached an altitude of 4,000 meters, a major failure occurred in the right engine, a Pratt & Whitney PW4077 model. The engine exploded, and pieces of it broke away from the fuselage and fell into residential areas below. The pilots declared an emergency and decided to return to Denver. The plane managed to land safely with one engine, and no passengers or crew were injured. However, engine parts fell into the yards of homes and a soccer field in the Broomfield, Colorado area. Luckily, no one was injured, but the incident caused great panic. An investigation by the U.S. National Transportation Safety Board found that one of the fan blades inside the engine had broken due to metal fatigue, leading to a chain failure. After this incident, all Boeing 777 aircraft with Pratt & Whitney PW4000 series engines were temporarily grounded, and detailed checks were carried out. It's time for another plane crash that will make you say, "No way." In an incident that occurred on Asiana Airlines Flight 321 on May 26, 2023, a passenger attempted to open the emergency exit door during the flight. This incident occurred before the plane landed at Daegu Airport and posed a serious safety issue. Asiana Airlines Flight 321 took off from Jeju Airport en route to Daegu Airport. The plane was heading to Reykjavik, the capital of Iceland, and was carrying approximately 200 passengers and 10 crew members. As it was approaching landing, a passenger accidentally managed to open the emergency exit door. Emergency doors do not open when the aircraft touches the ground, but the passenger somehow managed to open the door. This changed the cabin pressure and caused great panic among the passengers. Immediately after the incident, the flight crew managed to calm the passengers by following safety procedures. The aircraft landed safely at Daegu Airport, and extra security measures were taken for the safety of passengers. The passenger was detained, and an investigation was launched. No one was injured in the incident, but the accidental opening of the emergency door posed a serious safety issue. The investigation concluded that the passenger did not intend to open the door, but it showed that the pilot and cabin crew should have received adequate training and precautions. Now, let's go back to June 25, 2017. Aviation X Flight 7237 took off from Perth Airport en route to Kuala Lumpur. About 90 minutes after takeoff, the plane began to shake violently off the coast of Western Australia. Passengers reported that the plane was shaking like something spinning in a washing machine. The cockpit crew realized that the left engine had failed. One of the fan blades inside the engine had broken off and was spinning erratically. This caused the entire aircraft to experience violent vibrations. The pilots decided to continue the flight with one engine and safely return the aircraft to Perth Airport. No emergency was declared, but passengers were prepared for landing. Before landing, the captain made an announcement to the passengers to follow the instructions of the cabin crew, saying, "Everybody pray." This caused panic among some passengers. Fortunately, the plane landed smoothly, and no one was injured in the incident. The investigation determined that the engine failure was caused by a rupture in the fan blade. Aviation X reviewed its engine maintenance procedures, and it was decided that the Rolls-Royce engines would undergo extra inspection.